How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please, whatever you do, smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. All right. And yeah, let's talk boxing, man. Let's talk this Canelo Alvarez versus a potential matchup with David Benavidez. Here's why this fight could possibly happen next. Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a fight that I would definitely love to see, and I would pay for. You know, this is one of the only fights that I would say that I would like to see him fight before he fights Bivol, or if he ever is gonna fight Bivol again. It's not. Its chances are he might not ever fight Bivol again. I know a lot of people are saying that he could possibly fight Bivol again, but the more and more I think about it, you guys, Bivol is a really good fighter, and he's way bigger than Canelo. I feel like naturally, I feel like naturally he could walk around at probably a solid 200. You know what I mean, and still have minimal body fat. You know what I mean. Canelo can't. Canelo is like a natural 160 pounder. You know what I mean? He's short, stocky. You know what I'm saying? He's, his walk around weight could be 170, 180. I know he balloons up sometimes, not too big, but, I just really think the more I think about it and the more, that we talk about this fight, you guys, and the more we break down these fights, Canelo Alvarez, man, is up shit's creek with this Bivol situation. You know, the only way I can see him, closing in the gap in the Bivol situation and him rematching Bivol is if he fights Bivol at 168. And the thing about that, which even that causes a threat for Canelo Alvarez, because Bivol says he could make 168 jokingly, but being serious. He said it in an interview. He said, it's crazy because I know I could make 168, but I fight at 175. That's even more bonkers. A lot of 175 pounders, you guys, can't even make 168. That's out of the question. So for Bivol to be able to say that and be honest about that and be able to make that weight, I think that shows a lot about him and where he's trying to go. And to be honest with you, I mean, if he's trying to go that route and fight Canelo again, could this fight be at 168? I could see this fight being at 168. Could I see this fight being at 175? I could definitely see this fight being at 175. But if he fights Canelo at 168, Bivol would not only beat Canelo for the WBA strap at 175, he could be undisputed at 168, which is a feat that not many Russian fighters have ever done that I can recall. And Bivol's a Russian fighter. He that's his country. He's proud about Russia, and that's where he's from, and that's who he loves. And kudos to him. But as far as boxing goes, I'm not sure there's been a whole lot of Russian undisputed champions. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so why I think that this David Benavidez fight could happen is because you know Canelo could just be like, you know what, let me fight. Who the fans want to see me fight, and a lot of fans are saying that they want to see him fight David Benavidez. David Benavidez is going to be his mandatory anyways. David Benavidez, you're going to have to mandatory fight David Benavidez or drop your belts. It's no way around this shit. He fought number one, uh, number one ranked in the WBC, I believe, was David Benavidez. And number two was David Lemieux. That's respectfully number one and number two. David Benavidez just iced the shit out of David Lemieux, so he's out of the question now. So now there's only left is David Lemieux. So now he got that WBC interim belt, you guys. And when I say he got that WBC interim belt, there's a lot that comes with that. He's got to be able to, you know, fight for the title next. That's why he fought for the eliminator. That's why he's done this. I believe this is his second time fighting in some type of eliminator or something. Um, but yeah, man, you know, and David Benavidez is trying to be a three-time world champion, which is big, you know, which is pretty big. Um, Shout out to Jose Diaz in the chat, Ronaldo in the chat. What's going on? Beavis in the chat. What's happening, man? He says Canelo will beat Benavidez. You guys got to understand, man. Right now, Canelo Alvarez has a problem with guys that are more that can't take his. Canelo Alvarez is gonna have problems with anybody that can box and that can take his punches. That's automatic, you know, red flags for Canelo. All right, and I'm keeping it real with you guys. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible to Canelo without bashing him. But I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. He's got problems with guys that box him, and he's got problems with guys that can take his punches. If you can stand toe to toe with Canelo Alvarez and take his best punch and keep coming forward, it's gonna be a long fucking night. It's gonna be a long effing night, man. Because Canelo Alvarez will start boxing you if he feels like he can't get you out of there. But he started too late in that Bivol fight, if not at all. You know, Bivol was up in the 10th round on all of the scorecards, I believe. And in a lot of people's minds, people thought Canelo might have needed a knockout in the 10th round. I mean, if you really scored the rounds correctly, which is they're all subjective, you know what I mean? You know, it's judging. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of the fans had Bivol winning going into the 10th round, going into the 11th round. So if they had Bivol winning going into the 10th round and going to the 11th round, he would need, you know, at least a knockdown, a knockout, something. I mean, Canelo wasn't giving a shit, man, against Bivol. That's what scares me about a rematch, man. It's because what did Canelo show us in the first fight? You know, to even get to a Benavidez fight, or is he just gonna skip Bivol altogether? You know, skip Bivol altogether, go to Benavidez, man. You know, but then you're gonna see fight fans that say, "Oh, he ducked Bivol. He didn't want that smoke." Canelo would never live down. All right, I'm back, you guys. My bad, technical difficulties. Um, but yeah, we're good. So yeah, so I feel like David Benavidez right now, you guys, he's a threat, man, to Canelo. I don't give a fuck what nobody says, man. He's a threat. He's a threat. Dietrich B says Canelo needs to retire if he doesn't start taking the fights that people want to see. He has been boxing a long time. It's time to lay it all on the line. Yeah, he did lay it all on the line, but the only thing about it is he should have drew the fucking line and not went up to 175 and fought a fucking full or one, excuse me, 168. I mean, yeah, 175. I truly believe that David Benavidez is the biggest 168-pounder there is, man, in that division. Period. Hands down. Hands down, man. The biggest fighter in that division, man. Hands down, man. Hands down. You know? And so when it comes to, fighter size and, what a fighter can do and stuff like that, you gotta, I'm telling you guys right now that David Benavidez is a threat for Canelo for his weight, his size, his reach, his fucking power. Did you see what he did to David Lemieux, man? Them punches hurt. Every punch that David Lemieux was getting hit with, it looked like hurt, man. It looked like it hurt. Can y'all please smash the like button? I ask y'all to do one thing when y'all come in here. Let's please get these likes up. 9 a.m. Eastern time. Let's get it, man. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in. But as far as David Benavidez versus Canelo goes, man, it's going to be a thinking man's game right there. It's going to be, mano-y-mano, But I know a lot of fans want to say, well, but Corey, wait. What about the Bivol fight? Is he going to finish that? And my answer to that is, right now, I think it's 50-50 with Canelo, man, whether he's going to fight Bivol again or not. I just don't see him beating him with Eddie Reynoso's style, man. In the way that, he's telling Canelo to fight Bivol. Unless they come up with a new game plan and try some new shit and try to maybe box Bivol and try to beat him on points instead of knocking him out. Bivol wasn't going nowhere all fucking night. I don't think he got hurt at all. He wasn't going anywhere. He's not Kovalev. He's not Kovalev. Okay? He was losing that Kovalev fight and knocked him out. Some people say he was losing that Plant fight and got the knockout. Mind you, this shit was already in the making, man. People just didn't see the writing on the wall. Corey Lee Boxing been talked about this shit on so many different podcasts, live streams, and so forth and so on. Canelo Alvarez is a vulnerable power puncher, period. He went in there with Andre Ward. I'm putting $1,000 that Andre Ward beats Canelo Alvarez in his prime. But that's what it could have, should have. Now Andre Ward retired. Canelo Alvarez never gave Andre Ward a chance, nor did Triple G. So Kovalev did, and we seen what happened with that. He was the first man to pick Kovalev apart before Canelo Alvarez did. And really, really punish Kovalev, in the second fight, and that was a really good matchup. Jose Diaz in the chat says Mike Tyson said it and he was right. Benavidez a monster beast. Yeah, man. I mean, David Benavidez is the goods, man. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it down the middle. David Benavidez is a freak monster, man. And I think he'll come in there guns a-blazing, man. I think he's ready. I think that David Benavidez is ready for Canelo Alvarez. He's a WBC. This was for the WBC title eliminator. His last fight. For the WBC interim belt. And so his next fight should be a shot at Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez still has unfinished business, in my personal opinion, with Bivol. But I mean, who's to say that he won't hurry up and get that dub? But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard, man. It's 100% gonna be hard. But yeah, man. When David Benavidez sits down on his punches, they hurt, man. I could just tell every punch that David Lemieux was getting hit with was hurting him. Okay? And mind you, a lot of people say when David Lemieux was old, he was past his prime, he was, this, he was that. He was really supposed to be at 160 pounds. That's when he was the best fighter. And I say all of that to say this. I mean, they say all of that and I say this. David Lemieux came in there in some type of fighting shape, because Mark Ramsey's not going to let him come and embarrass him. That's a hell of a trainer, you know. Mark Ramsey trains Arthur Benavidez, the most ducked fighter in the world of boxing and the most avoided fighter in the world of boxing still to this day. Andre Ward retired and Arthur Benavidez fought for his fucking titles next. That should tell you something, man. Arthur Benavidez, Andre Ward's like, damn, this guy Arthur Benavidez my mandatory? Dude, to stay at that 175-pound division, dude, Andre Ward would have eventually had to fight Arthur Benavidez. That would have been a tough fucking fight. And I think Mark Ramsey's a hell of a trainer to train Arthur Benavidez, So I just think Mark Ramsey's a good trainer. So I think David Lemieux should get more credit in that, leading up into that fight. But as far as him getting punished, he got beat up by David Benavidez. Straight up. He got beat up. Beavis says, I do see Canelo duck coming. Yeah, I mean, the more you think about it, man, the more that I think about this Canelo versus Bivol fight and Canelo versus David Benavidez fight. Mind you, they said PBC had a better deal on the table than Eddie Hearn did. The PBC deal included Charlo, included Charlo, And I mean, they were guaranteeing Canelo $40 million, but they said Canelo Alvarez had some type of bond, like, had trust, I guess, believed in Eddie Hearn as I guess a little bit more than he did with the PBC. Because remember, he had that one fight deal with PBC, and Canelo Alvarez said that PBC treated him good, and so he's getting treated good and shit like that. And you go to Eddie Hearn and lose, trying to fight fucking Bivol, 175-pounder. PBC wasn't even gonna set Canelo up like that. PBC was just gonna have him fighting 168-pounder in Charlo, or 160-pounder, in Charlo. So it's like, the highest that Canelo was gonna go with the PBC, in my personal opinion, would have been the 168-pound division. I don't think he would fight nobody under the PBC banner at 175. So therefore, Canelo Alvarez could still, I mean, if you ask me, do I like his chances with Charlo better than I like his chances with Bivol? I would say yeah. I would say hell yeah. Okay? Charlo's more of a smaller frame fighter, okay, than Bivol. Bivol is a big dude, pause, you know what I mean? But he's not Canelo Alvarez just think he's gonna run over everybody. You can't do that 175 pounds. Some of them dudes are cutting from heavyweight, cruiserweight, 205, coming down to 175, 20-pound cut, coming up from two. Some of them dudes might walk around 210. Like a heavyweight on the off season, coming down to light heavyweight. Okay, Canelo's going up to fucking from 160 to 168 to 175. He's not coming down too much. So for him just trying to test himself alone, I give him kudos. I say kudos to Canelo. But at some point, somebody got to tell Canelo, you too small for that, man. Yeah, Roy Jones did it. He went up to heavyweight and won. Hard to do though, man. Very few can do it. In the way Canelo Alvarez's body's set up, he's a short fighter. He's like 5'8", man. You know? Even if he wanted to test himself with a true cruiserweight in Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk 6'3", rehydrating to 215, 220. Fight night at cruiserweight. Rehydration from cruiserweight. So I just think that Usyk fight would have went all wrong for Canelo as well. Usyk's a fucking very, very good boxer, if not the best boxer in boxing. Okay, let's get that understood now. Okay, and then he's big, way bigger. So for the people and the fans out there that even thought that Canelo could beat Usyk, is out of his mind. Like, you're out of your mind, dude. If you think that Alexander Usyk is gonna lose to Canelo Alvarez, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, right, dude. You know, so I just think right now, man, Canelo Alvarez is a hell of a fighter. I'm not taking anything away from Canelo. I think Canelo has done good for the sport of boxing and will continue to do good things. And I think he's a good fighter. But come on, man. They got weight classes for a reason, y'all. They got weight classes for a reason, y'all. Come on, man. You know, David Lemieux, David Benavidez won, man. But even David Benavidez said he's going up to 175 after a while, man. He's not staying at 168 forever. Even David Benavidez said he's moving up. So if you got a guy like that saying he's gonna fucking move up and he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that, your time is limited to even catch David Benavidez, because he's gonna be at 175 for you know it. And then he's gonna be fighting, the Demetrius Bivol of the world. Mind you, David Benavidez already got history with Demetrius Bivol. He said, for real, I want that fight too. That's what David Benavidez said. He said they sparred before. David Benavidez has said that Demetrius Bivol and David Benavidez have sparred and that it was some good sparring, but David Benavidez said he got the best, and I quote, of Bivol. Straight up. He said that on an interview. He said, yeah, Demetrius Bivol is a good fighter. I would love that to fight him. He said, I would love to fight him, but, will he get that fight? We don't know. Will he get that fight? We'll never know, because right now, Canelo Alvarez stands in the middle at the 175-pound division. He's holding up Demetrius Bivol right now. Demetrius Bivol can't move until Canelo makes a move. That's how this shit's set up right now. It's fucked up. I know it's fucked up, you guys, to hear that and to know that he can't move. You're like, damn, Corey, what you mean he can't move? He's a grown man. He's in contract. He cannot move. He cannot fight anybody else until this Canelo Alvarez fight gets worked out. Either Canelo Alvarez is gonna fight Demetrius Bivol or he's not. He's got a date where, like a deadline. So I think after they get that squared away and, everything gets worked out on the Bivol versus Canelo situation, then yeah. They said Demetrius Bivol still ain't get paid, all his money yet. So, like I said, I don't know what's going on with that situation. I know he got peanuts compared to what everybody else was going to get. And maybe that's why he took the fight with Bivol. Maybe he was offered more money on the back end. But they said that the pay-per-view buys didn't even do that well. They said they were predicting that Bivol versus Canelo was going to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. It only did 500,000, half that, if that. The Caleb Plant fight did about 700,000-800,000. They're better than the Bivol fight. See, Canelo can't just think that just because he's going in there and he fights everybody, that everybody's going to just pay these crazy amount of Canelo Alvarez Cinco de Mayo prices. Fans are starting to smarten up, you guys. Fans are like, hold on, wait. I've never heard of this Bivol guy. You know, who is this guy? Why am I paying $100 to see him fight this guy? He's just going to beat him again. But little did they know that this guy had over 400 amateur fights, and he's from Russia, and he's undefeated, and he's a lot bigger than Canelo Alvarez. They left that part out. But yeah, y'all go ahead and pay the $100, man. We don't know too much about this guy, but he's supposed to just Canelo's just gonna. I heard some guys predicting, some professional fighters, you guys, on the Fight High predictions. They were saying, who you think is gonna win, Canelo or Bivol? They said, well, shit, I'm picking Canelo because he wins every other time. I mean, he wins. Yeah, he wins every time. He wins every time I see him get in. He's that good. I just think he's gonna win again. That's what some professional fighters said. This dude, like Canelo, believes like we do. Like, he's no different. He's human. Like, I'm tired of some of these fighters putting fucking fighters on pedestals and shit like that, man. Like, you're a regular dude. You know, yeah, your name's yeah, your name's Canelo Alvarez, you know, but you know, you're a man too, you know? And I just feel like some of these fighters get too much, you know, like too much respect, almost to a point where it's like, you know, well, damn, should they even get in the ring and fight if you just think he's gonna beat everybody he gets in the ring with? Man, Demetrius Bivol said, "Fuck all that shit, man. I'm coming and I'm bringing war." And that's what he did. He stood toe to toe with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez was taking steps back, and we haven't seen a lot of that in Canelo Alvarez. Chin Smoke was happening. What's happening, my brother? I hope everything is good. I hope everything is good with you. But yeah, man, as far as Canelo Alvarez goes, that's what it is, man. Canelo Alvarez has got to really, at this point in his career, he's got to really think about what's best for him next. You know, is he gonna fight? You know, who's he gonna fight next? You know, and we'll see. You know, like I said, we'll see. Um, yeah, I'm curious to see what he's gonna do next. You know, it's like I said, it's a big fight coming up. Either he gonna fight Bivol next, or he's gonna fight somebody else. You know, but whoever he fights next, we're gonna find out very soon, you guys. Very, very soon, we will find out who he's gonna fight next, man. And I can't wait. You know, I can't wait. I want to know if he's gonna really get this rematch in with Bivol. You know, because I think this is an uphill battle for Canelo Alvarez, man. I really, really do. The more and more I think about it, the more and more, you know, I think about how many ways can Bivol win, man. He's not just a power puncher like Canelo thinks. Bivol's a thinker in there. He boxes. You guys seen the range that Bivol was fighting Canelo against? I mean, he was swimming without getting wet. And what I mean by that is he was punching Canelo without getting punched. Shout out to Nazeem Richardson, man. Quotes of a legend. Quotes of a legend, baby. Hall of Fame trainer, Nazeem Richardson, man. Come on now. Come on now. He says swim without getting wet. When I heard him say that, I said, yeah, I got to use that one. That's a good one. That's a good one, my dog, my boy, my legend. But yeah, man, you know, I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that. He says, Chin Smoke says, I already thought Bivol could be the one to beat Canelo. I said it about 2 years back. For real, Chin? I mean, I ain't saying I don't believe you, dog, but you know, I feel you though. I understand, Chin Smoke. I would love to see some receipts on that, but you know what I mean? I understand. I feel you. Some people did. Some people have believed in Bivol. I wasn't one of them that was too high on him because his last couple performances were lack thereof. You know, people fell asleep in the stands and shit. I remember that shit. I was one of the ones that watched one of his fights when he just fought in the last 2 or 3. How you go from HBO to fighting in Russia at 3 in the morning? Like, and you're still undefeated. You've never lost. So that's why I'm like, dude, people, Bivol, you know, maybe he was mishandled in his career, but still, what the fuck, man? But yeah, man, I'm gonna hop off here, man. I just really wanted to know what you guys thought about this, and I think that he should fight. I think his first choice should be Bivol because the fans want to see him fight that. But a lot of people are saying that they want to see him fight David Benavidez next. And if he fights David Benavidez next, I think it's a tough fight. Both fights are tough as shit. So Canelo Alvarez, whichever fight he chooses, whether it be Triple G, David Benavidez, or Bivol, he's got to bring his A game. I don't think you guys understand that. Y'all guys ain't hearing me, man. This guy Canelo's got to train his ass off and have the win. This dude was out of breath in the 8th round, Bivol said. He heard him breathing heavy. Bivol said, I heard Canelo breathing heavy. That's when I knew I had him. In the 8th round, Canelo? What the fuck, dude? What does Eddie Renault? What are y'all doing in there? You know? Come on, man. And Canelo was Alvarez was on you guys' pound for pound list. I mean, #1 pound for pound. I had Usyk #1 pound for pound. Oh, since he won the titles at heavyweight and before that. So it's like, come on, bro. Canelo Alvarez is who I thought he was. A close fight with Kovalev into the knockout. Close fight with Caleb Plant before the knockout. Some people say he lost to Lara. Come on, man. He lost to Floyd. Floyd said he was easy work. Come on, man. Same guy, y'all. Y'all #1 pound for pound fighter. This is Corey Lee Boxing, man. I just gave y'all motherfuckers a banger. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please, whatever you guys do, smash the hell out of that like button, you guys. And yeah, man. Thanks for watching. Peace.